Jeremy Jacquet rejects Chelsea and chooses Liverpool next summer. Mamadou Sarr has been recalled from Strasbourg and is going straight into the Chelsea team. Tyrique George leaves the club on loan to Everton with no obligation to buy. David Datro Fofana is whisked over to Strasbourg to cover for the injured Emmanuel Omega. Axel Disasi is still picking and choosing where he wants to go and apparently is unsure about the West Ham deal. And reports indicate that any news surrounding Tylel Tati of Nantes are false. Welcome, Blue Believers, to another episode of the Stamford Sync, where we are syncing up with everything Chelsea FC, and this is potentially the first of two videos I'm going to make today. I hate transfer deadline day because I have been furiously refreshing X every single minute to make sure that no other news is coming up, and I'm like, right, no, I'm just going to make the video, but chances are something else will have happened by the time this goes out. But guys, before we get into it, if you are enjoying the content and would like to see more, please do me the distinct honour of liking and sharing the video, subscribe to the channel, or just roast me in the comments, whatever gets you through your day. Right, so we've got a lot of stuff to get through and we're just going to jump straight in. Jeremy Jacquet, last night, Fabrizio Romano broke the news, confirmed this. Breaking, Jeremy Jacquet to Liverpool, here we go. Deal agreed now for June 2026 as revealed. Understand the fee is 60 million euros plus 10 mil add-ons to Rennes. Jeremy has agreed personal terms with Liverpool FC. Agreement done for summer 2026 for one of the most talented centre-backs in the world. Right, so in English money, that's £55 million with 5 million add-ons. First of all, do I care massively? Like, no, because I've been quite consistent with saying if we were looking to get him in now, which is what Chelsea were looking to do, okay, cool, because we need some sort of reinforcement. But to drop that amount of money on a player for the end of the season when we've already got other players coming back and there will probably be other targets on the market, I didn't think that was a smart idea. So ultimately, I do think it's funny, like all of a sudden now he's one of the best centre-backs in the world, do you know what I mean? For like a week ago when everyone first heard of him, by the way, it was like, Jacquet Potato this and Jacquet Potato that. I did a deep dive into his stats. I thought he looked okay. I thought he could come in and do a job and largely looked like he'd be a better option than the likes of Tosin Adarabioyo, Benoit Badiashile, and certainly Axel Disasi, who we're going to get onto later in this video. But ultimately, I'm not super miffed that we haven't gone in with that kind of money to make sure he comes in the summer. There's a lot of facets to this deal, man. There's a lot of facets to this deal. At the end of the day, it also makes sense that although supposedly the news was like he only wanted Chelsea, you look at Liverpool's back line at the moment, they are struggling, they need reinforcement. Van Dijk, not quite the player he used to be, albeit still a very good player. Konate, one eye out the door, it looks like Bayern Munich are going to go in for him. They've got injuries left, right and centre, and at the end of the day, they don't have 11 centre-backs on their books like we do. So, at the end, you know, I get it, man, I get it. He is likely going to get a lot more game time at Liverpool when he comes in the summer, and I wish him well. Do you know what I mean? At the end of the day, I don't wish him too much well because I would hope we can do better than Liverpool next season. But yeah, for me, I'm not like devastated, and I wasn't like mad super excited or keen to get him in the first place. I thought he looked like what he was, a talented 20-year-old centre-back who could come in and maybe supplement some of our defensive frailties for this season. Now, like I say, Liverpool, yeah, makes sense. You know, there was a lot of talk, you know, it was, he only wants Chelsea, but then he's been convinced by the Liverpool project. And the thing is, I think we were only going to go in for him if we were able to bring him in now. And I'll be completely honest, which is the next bit of news I'll get into, since the news broke about Mamadou Sarr, I was pretty sure it was unlikely we were going to recall Mamadou Sarr and by Jeremy Jacquet. Do you know what I mean? So as soon as Anselmino to Strasbourg became a thing, and obviously more news about Mamadou Sarr, yeah, it just kind of made sense. I think we've probably been out of it for a little while. Do you know what I mean? I think we were probably negotiating, but it did seem from everything that we were seeing, Chelsea were only really interested if we could get him in now. So I'm not super miffed that we didn't do that. He may be one of the most talented centre-backs in the world. Like, yeah, that's a massive statement, man. That's a massive statement, isn't it? But I guess we will see in the summer when he comes to play for Liverpool. Right, so next up, it's time to talk about Mamadou Sarr. Fabrizio Romano posted this: breaking, Chelsea set to recall Mamadou Sarr from Strasbourg. Here we go, with a little back arrow. Decision made as Chelsea believe Sarr is a top talent at centre-back for long term. Key part of project and a return is imminent. Formal steps to follow below with Chelsea FC on it on deadline day. So yeah, like these are intrinsically linked. The Jacquet stuff and the Mamadou Sarr stuff. I don't think, we're not looking to sell Tosin and Badiashile now, are we? That's the truth. And that'd almost be too much. Do you know what I mean? Bringing two 20-year-olds into the squad. Now we're just going to end up with a bomb squad again, aren't we? That's the truth. And the problem is, if we overload ourselves with centre-backs now, then Tosin and Badiashile don't get any game time, which makes them harder to sell, and we end up in exactly the same situation we ended up with Axel Disasi later down the line, don't we? So, look, is Mamadou Sarr the most exciting prospect? No, not compared to Jeremy Jacquet, the best one of the most talented centre backs in the world. Do you know what I mean? No one's saying that about Mamadou Sarr. But what he is an experienced Ligue 1 centre back who has played first team football for the last 18 months. He's just gone out there and won AFCON with Senegal, playing a really, really big part in that tournament as well. So I think he will offer us ultimately what we wanted from Jeremy Jacquet. I never thought Jeremy Jacquet was going to come in and steamroll his way into the first team. I thought ultimately he'd be competing with the likes of Badiashile and Tosin. At the moment, Wesley Fofana and Trevor Chalobah are our kind of best centre-backs. Levi Colwell's back on the grass now. It's about depth. It's about depth and quality. Do you know what I mean? And at the end of the day, if Mamadou Sarr comes in and steamrolls his way into the team, wicked. Absolutely love that. But I don't think that's going to happen. I just think we need an option that's better than Badiashile and Tosin. And ultimately, what you get with Mamadou Sarr is a player who's played for Liam Rosenior before, right? So Liam Rosenior has come in and he's got, 5 wins in 6 games, absolute 6 and 7. Sorry, I can't even remember it. Yeah, 6 and 7. Absolutely unbelievable from Liam Rosenior. But what he hasn't had a lot of time to do yet is imprint his stylistic ideas onto the team, right? Now, we've obviously got a bit more of a break coming up in February because we bypassed the Champions League playoff phases, and bringing Mamadou Sarr in is going to help reinforce that Liam Rosenior idea. He's going to know what the manager wants of him already, and hopefully that will really do us some favours. So, yeah, like I say, I'm not particularly miffed about the Jeremy Jacquet thing, and I'm not absolutely buzzing over the moon about Mamadou Sarr coming back. But the thing that is good about it is it hasn't cost us any money, right? So if we'd have gone for Jeremy Jacquet, that would have been 50 mil plus gone for the summer at the end of the day. Do you know what I mean? And now we get to keep that money and maybe go out for someone else if the right deal is available. And we bring Sarr back into the team, who I think ultimately will play a very similar role to what Jeremy Jacquet did anyway. It will be really interesting. And the thing is, Mamadou Sarr now gets 6 months in the Premier League. So by the time Jeremy Jacquet comes in, he may well have played a lot more at Rennes, but Mamadou Sarr will have 6 months of Premier League experience and playing in England. So that's going to be great. And maybe some Champions League experience as well. So moving on to some outs, we're going to talk about Tyrique George, more from Fabrizio Romano. Tyrique George to Everton, here we go. Deal in place after official bid sent yesterday as exclusively revealed. Oh, he loves an exclusive, doesn't he? Loan deal until June, full salary covered by Everton, and buy option clause not mandatory, medical booked. So he's given the here we go. Tyrique George hasn't done his medical yet. I don't expect there to be any particular issues with that. It makes sense, right? It makes sense because Everton are a decent team under David Moyes. They've really been put in, they were relegation fodder for a long time before he came in, and they're looking a lot better now. Kiernan Dewsbury-Hall's gone over there and done really well. I imagine he will definitely fight to get in that first team, and he will get a lot of opportunities, and I'm not too bothered about it not being an obligation either, because if he plays really well at Everton and his price rises to 30-40 mil, something like that, and Everton don't want to pay that, then someone will. Do you know what I mean? We looked at already getting 22 mil for Tyrique George from Fulham based on the few appearances he'd made for us at Chelsea. He's made more appearances for us at Chelsea this season. He's scored important goals. He's shown that he's versatile. He's shown that he will do the dirty job and playing up front even though he's a winger and whatever, and he will still get results out of it. And at the end of the day, if he goes to Everton and shows his quality, then it just means he's going to be worth a load more money. And it's a dirty thing, but it will be pure book profit. And we love a little bit of pure book profit, don't we? So a lot of the conversation around Tyrique George is, why isn't he be given a shot over Jamie Gittins and Alejandro Garnacho? And look, I get that because he has scored a few goals and stuff, don't get me wrong. But it's 6 of one and half a dozen of the other. Do you know what I mean? I think it's easy to look at Tyrique George and say, oh, well, maybe he's better than the other two. But the chances are he's probably not better. He's probably in and around exactly the same kind of level. Do you know what I mean? And ultimately, you have to bench one of Jamie Gittins and Alejandro Garnacho permanently in order to get Tyrique George into the team. It'll be disappointing if he goes on and is absolutely amazing, but that's the thing as well, isn't it? If he goes to Everton and is absolutely incredible, imagine he gets like 6-7 goals playing at left wing throughout the rest of the season and becomes a really big part of their squad. Maybe there's an opportunity for him to come back into the first team later, but I do understand it. We've got these two players right now, and Tyrique George is not obviously better. If anything, there's a massive question mark because we haven't seen him play that much, especially at left wing. We've barely seen him play at left wing at all. So I get it, man. I get it. Like, I hope Tyrique George goes to Everton and does really well, because one way or the other, it benefits us. The only way this doesn't benefit us is if he goes to Everton and stinks out the joint. Do you know what I mean? But he's really young. He can come back. We can figure out another loan. Something will happen. At the end of the day, Tyrique George is just an asset waiting to be sold, man. It's sad, but I've been saying it for a long time. And I just wish him the best, man. I wish him the best. I do hope he goes out there and does well. And I hope that Jamie Gittins and Garnacho, if he does go out there and do well, I hope they see that and they're like, oh, we need to pull our socks up and get our act together, right? And we move on to a lesser-known member of the Chelsea bomb squad, and one who has actually been out getting loans and playing at clubs. It's David Fofana. David Fofana was one of the first youth products that Bluco bought when they came along, and he has just been loaned to Strasbourg. Fabrizio Romano had this to say: David Fofana to RC Strasbourg, here we go, deal done with documents approved. Despite interest from another French club and Mallorca, David Fofana leaves Chelsea on loan to join Strasbourg immediately. Key to help cover Emega's absence for the next week. So this is really important. And another potential worry for Chelsea fans, right? So yeah, like I said, David Fofana, one of the first young players that Bluco bought. And he hasn't blossomed into an absolutely amazing player. He's had time at Burnley. He's just come back from a loan at Karagümrük, I think it is, in the Turkish second tier of football. There was a lot of interest for him from Celtic about buying him on a permanent deal, but ultimately he's gone out to Strasbourg to cover the absence of Emmanuel Emega. Now, what is the absence of Emmanuel Emega, I hear you say? So I found a tweet from Bluco Extra. Latest, Strasbourg captain Emmanuel Emega, who is in the recovery phase, has reportedly suffered a relapse of his muscle injury and could be sidelined for another 6 weeks. Savage, man. So essentially, David Fofana has gone out there to supplement them for the next 2 months. And, that is getting in towards the end of the season then, isn't it? And it's a worry, man. It's a worry, isn't it? Because we bought Emmanuel Emega just a couple of weeks after the summer transfer window had closed. We announced it. And he scored 14 goals in the league last season. He scored 7 or 8 goals in the league this season, albeit having already been injured for 2 months. And he's playing really well and he looks great. And we're all really excited to see him in the squad next season. But have we just bought another player that is made of glass? And as far as forwards go, that is an issue, isn't it? Because Liam Delap is not exactly on fire this season. João Pedro looking absolutely unbelievable at the moment. But Emmanuel Emega coming in next season was this, this idea of bringing some quality into the team. I think we should have gone for Panicelli personally. But, what will be, will be. So, David Fofana has gone out to Strasbourg to supplement the injury of Emmanuel Emega, which ultimately is a good thing for the relationship, right? Because Emega's been injured. We've just, we've taken Liam Rosenior, we've taken Mamadou Sarr back, we've sent Ansel Mino there, and we've brought Kendry Pyers away from them because he wasn't fitting into the team, and we've sent them a replacement for Emega. So, Gary O'Neill, I guess, will be reasonably happy that he's not just being, completely left in the dark by Bluco and all the focus is on Chelsea. They are still trying to make sure that they're having a reasonably good season. So, moving on, and it's not an out yet. I will check. Chances are, by the time this video comes out, maybe something's changed here. But we are going to talk about Axel Disasi. 13 minutes before I started recording this video, Fabrizio Romano had this to say: West Ham are waiting for Axel Disasi's final answer on the transfer after verbal agreement with Chelsea over loan deal. Chelsea and West Ham have agreed that Axel Disasi should go to them on loan for the rest of the season. There was noise about AC Milan again, but apparently they came and said, no, do you know what, we're not going to bother with Disasi. They're going in strong for Mateta from Crystal Palace. I'm not sure if that's happened yet. But we are left in a situation, as we were in the summer, where Axel Disasi has an offer on the table and isn't just snapping it up. Like, not playing football for the rest of the season might be a better idea for him. Like, I don't know, man. I don't know. This is just getting silly now, isn't it? Axel, mate, come on. Go and play football somewhere. This isn't good for you. It's not only not good for Chelsea, this isn't good for you. If you go an entire season without playing football, you're going to turn into Danny Drinkwater. Do you know what I mean? We're potentially looking at Danny Drinkwater here, and he's just never going to play football again. he has to take this deal, man. He has to. What is it? Is he waiting on the rumblings that maybe a European club is going to come in on loan for him? Maybe he just doesn't like the food here. Like, fair enough. Do you know what I mean? He's a French guy. I've seen a few videos of him with the Chelsea lot in a few of their little social media things they do. He likes to cook. French people, very good at cooking. Maybe it's the food. I'm just going to put it down to maybe it's the food, but come on, Axel. You've got to go, man. It's good for you. You're still in London. There's French restaurants in London, right? Go and, you can buy nice ingredients. My missus just imported some raclette cheese from France. You can do that as well. You're minted, mate. Get some raclette in. Get it flown over. Go to West Ham. Play some football. Rebuild your career, right? Does that not just seem like the best thing? Oh, an absolute nightmare. So we're going to move away from Axel Disasi and into a rumour that apparently had no truth to it. So in the light of the Jeremy Jacquet deal not going through for Chelsea and Mamadou Sarr coming back, there was also links to a player called Tyrique George from Nantes, also in France. But Chelsea Dodgers has come out about an hour just before I made this video saying there's no truth in the link saying that Chelsea are interested in signing Tyrique George. So maybe that's the end of that one. I don't know. It makes sense, doesn't it? Like, Chelsea centre-back situation, obviously crazy at the moment, and we're probably putting feelers out to play, to teams and players, being like, how much would this guy be? Liam, what do you think of this guy? Whatever. There's probably some truth that there was an inquiry somewhere down the line, but supposedly it's come out very recently that that's absolutely not going to happen. I'm going to wrap the video up with a couple of tweets from PYS. Looks like a pretty quiet deadline day. CFC unlikely to get a number 6 or an attacker as it stands, and have recalled a centre-back for strength after 3 targets were leaked to the media: Jacquet, Sensei and Ramon. Senesi, sorry, not Sensei, Senesi. So Jacquet, obviously, of Rennes, Senesi of Bournemouth, and Ramon of Como in Italy. So I don't know why that matters, that we didn't go in for any of the other players, do you know what I mean? It was only Jacquet we looked at, so not really sure why that's relevant, but ultimately, it looks like it's going to be a quiet transfer day. Maybe Axel Disasi goes out. Maybe we see another player or something go out. Do you know what I mean? It's unlikely that there's going to be some big last-minute surprise. Do you know what I mean? But I will be here checking it all out, and if something does happen, you can bet your darn self that I'll be here reporting it to you. And I'm just going to finish up with one more positive tweet from PYS. Chelsea have rejected a loan approach from Crystal Palace for Josh Achiampong. So this actually ties in potentially to the reason why Jacquet preferred Liverpool over Chelsea, because he found out we were bringing back Mamadou Sarr. Chelsea said that Josh Achiampong isn't going anywhere. He's looking at Mamadou Sarr, Josh Achiampong, Tosin Adarabioyo, Badiashile, Wesley Fofana, Trevor Chalobah, and he's like, hold on a second, that's a buttload of players you've got there, sir. When am I ever going to get on the pitch? So, like I say, man, it makes sense, because not only are Liverpool a great prospect, don't get me wrong, their defence is also in dire need of a little bit of surgery, and he feels like he can come in and do that. Ultimately, I'm really happy with keeping Josh, and we are rejecting approaches for him, because that means he's got to start getting some game time, doesn't he? He absolutely has to start getting some game time, and I'm happy to see Mamadou Sarr and Josh Achiampong in place of Jeremy Jacquet, because I don't think there's going to be a huge difference in the quality overall. Like, look, again, I could be completely wrong, and maybe I'm going to eat my words at the end of the season when Jeremy Jacquet wins the Ballon d'Or. Do you know what I mean? But at the end of the day, I'm looking at Mamadou Sarr, loads of experience in France, just won AFCON. Josh Achiampong, we all know really, really, really well. He looks fantastic, and we all want to see him get more game time. He has come out and stated he wants to play as a centre-back as well. So maybe there's something in that. Maybe we do see him getting a little bit more centre-back time. So that's it. That is... that's a lot of news, man. That's a lot of news. I mean, it's literally, at the time of recording, it's 1:15. So this video I'll probably get out about 2:30 if I'm lucky. And we've got until 7 until the deadline window closes, right? So I will be keeping my ear to the ground and my eagle eyes linked to my phone, furiously scrolling through PYS, Fabrizio Romano, Chelsea Dodgers, and Matt Law, and several others to see if there are any more development. And like I said, if there are any more, I will definitely be the one to bring them to you. Nice one, guys. Thanks very much for sticking around to the end of the video. If you did, I will catch up with you all probably tonight. Take it easy. Peace.